Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Wednesday, February 19th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you are someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a couple clarifications. Number one, this candlestick right there will still be moving around and changing. That's because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one, ticker symbol STAI, big mover today, and now a good solid pattern here has formed. A couple different patterns within the same day. So earlier we had this bull pennant form, got the breakout right here, which has now led us to the second bull pennant. Now, I think there's a very well-defined trend line here. So as I draw on this line right here, I'm not trying to impress you. I'm not trying to imply that's some sort of great discovery. I think a lot of people have drawn that line. And I say that because when a lot of people are watching the same levels and wondering the same things, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movements. And I think that's exactly what's going on there with that line at that point. As far as areas of support, we have that lower area right there. Let me change that to green to represent support, and then just to make the pattern easier to see. So yes, there is a bit of a pullback here. We have the resistance, we have the support, but from where it was right there to where it is right there, this would be a bull flag pattern. Not just because something's bullish does not mean for sure guaranteed the price is going to go upwards, but is it reasonable? Is it plausible for you to suggest that you think the price could be going upwards because of the bull flag pattern? That is not a guaranteed outcome, but it's more than plausible. So if you like bull flag patterns, definitely keep an eye on it. Next one here, ticker symbol ADTX. And again, very, very impressive mover. Was down here, gapped up, pulled back, and then has made a very nice move in the late day here, which once again, one of these lines that we'll just call a self-fulfilling prophecy line, because as I connect these dots right there, that is not me trying to impress you or anything like that. A lot of people have done that. So once again, guaranteed, no, but is it valid to think that even if you just want to call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, that any sort of break up to that level and then through there could create additional buying pressure? Certainly a valid outcome. So keep an eye on that area from the resistance level. As far as areas of support are concerned right now, watch that pink line there, 200 period moving average. You can see so far so good. It's done a very good job of holding strong. And then if we just extend this out, so I'm going to use this as our lower trend line. And then if we factor in the upper trend line right there, and then you factor in the big upward move right there, we have ourselves another bull flag, bull pennant, whatever you want to call it. But I'd say the biggest difference here is this one just happens to be a penny stock. So if you're someone that prefers to play down in the world of penny stocks and you like these sorts of patterns, here you go. Next one here, INTC Intel, been in the news a whole lot, and this thing has just been ripping and roaring. Did this one last week, so that's where this annotation comes from, but that's been broken and is now, very much so higher than where it was. What I'm going to do here is actually change to the 4-hour time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks represents 4 hours, because we have to go back way into the chart's history to figure out where some of these next potential areas of resistance are. Let me go back a little bit more. There we go. So I realize it's hard to see, but that just goes to show it has been a long time since Intel has been up this high. So next key battleground to watch from a resistance standpoint, going to be up there right around $28.70, and this is just coming from what would be considered a gap close location. So keep a close eye on that. If this big old move continues, that is the next level. Because even today, that previous high right there, you can see, was broken. In fact, I should put that in there right now because that'll be a key area of support. So going into the day, this general area right there was a resistance, but basic technical analysis, when levels of resistance are broken and closes above, you want to see them act as support. So just keep in mind that is where that's coming from. Let's go back to the 30-minute time frame here. So that'll be the ideal level of support right there at 26.45. If you were to say, Clay, what makes this chart look the strongest? Definitely if the price stays above there. But from the overarching standpoint, as long as the price continues to maintain above that purple line there, 50-period moving average. So as the line suggests, as time goes by, that line is going to move itself higher and higher. So if you just want to envision that as a trend line that draws itself for you, then as long as the price is above the overall quote-unquote trend line, the bulls are still in full control. But anyway, look at it. It was a strong week last week. It's now gotten off to a strong start to this week. So we'll see how things continue to play out. Next one, SMCI, and the beast mode continues. So what I'm going to do here is just get rid of these lines. I don't want to have clutter and confusion everywhere. Yeah, they still pertain, like I said, from a presentation standpoint. I want to try to keep this clean as possible. I'm going to leave my overarching trend line down here in play just because I think at some point in the future that will come into play, but completely irrelevant right now. So first big update comes about based on the rule in charting, which I've already talked about, and levels of resistance are broken and closed above. You want to see them act as support. So moving forward, if there are any sort of bigger pullbacks here and the price were to do something like that, preferably speaking, having the price stay above 50.50 would be great. With that being said, as I've already talked about, even if the price were to drop down below there, you still have all sorts of levels of support. You have the 50-period moving average, which will, be looking something like this. But even if the price were to drop below there, you still do have the overarching level of support right there. And then even if that were to fail, you still have the 200-period moving average all the way down there. So that's just my long way of saying there are lots of areas of support. Now, that doesn't mean that this can't totally reverse around. But what I am saying is it would take a great effort on the bearish part in order to have some sort of full-blown reversal actually take place. In terms of areas of resistance, right now, the price has essentially already broken through right there. So now it's just a question of, is this the start of something even bigger? Does this break out here? So yes, to be fair, you technically missed the breakout, but it is always an exciting question to ask, is this the start of something bigger? Because it makes no sense to ask that question if nothing worthwhile has happened in the first place. But in this situation, something worthwhile has happened. So yeah, is this the start of something even bigger? We'll see what happens. Next one here, Nvidia, and this is another one of these we'll call kind of self-fulfilling prophecy type things, because I think a lot of people have drawn something very, very, very similar to that. So guarantees nothing, as I've said, and we'll probably say a dozen more times, but is it valid, is it plausible that if Nvidia can turn itself around, get up to that level and push up through it, that break right there could lead to more buying pressure? Yeah, that is certainly a valid thought to have. So keep an eye on that resistance line right there as going to be, as a main area to watch if there is going to be any sort of turnaround. But as right now, yeah, this is pulling back a little bit more. Now, by no means is this any sort of crash or anything like that. Granted, I do understand it's a matter of perspective. If you're a day trader, flipper, scalper, whatever you want to call yourself, and you bought right there and your plan was to buy and sell within, 10 minutes. From that standpoint, yeah, today the chart is looking like a train wreck for you. But if you do care about the bigger picture point of view, even with the pullback here, still plenty of opportunity to build a higher base. You can see right here that purple line, the 50-period moving average, which I've already been talking about, price is still nicely above there. So from the overarching standpoint, it's not like this thing has completely crashed or anything like that. It may feel that way if you bought at the highs from the opening 30 minutes. But all in all, the price is still putting in higher highs, higher lows, and that's the name of the game. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering here in a couple of days. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box you can use to sign up. Or if you're watching right at my website, there's an area on the webpage that you can use to sign up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free class. Next one here, KWE. Very nasty pullback. With that being said, it's interesting because the price has at least started to go sideways here, which makes this what I would consider a very important level moving forward right there at 70.5 cents. No fancy logic behind this other than the fact of that's the lowest it went during the opening 30 minutes. Then that's the lowest it went right there, lowest it went right there. So if the price does pull back, no guarantees. But is it valid? Is it plausible to think that the price could bounce off there like it's done a couple times already? Yeah, certainly a plausible thought process to have. So keep a close eye on that. If the price does not hold above this area of support, then the chart opens up quite a bit. You have basically this no man's land where there's no supports, there's no anything. So any sort of, especially if it's a high volume break of 70.50, I'm not saying sends the price straight down to the 50-cent area, but again, it just goes back to the whole idea of, well, there just isn't anything over here that suggests levels of support. So that 70.50 mark, definitely very, very important from a support standpoint. In terms of areas of resistance, if there's going to be any sort of turnaround, I think a lot of people have probably drawn a trend line very similar to that. So you could get one of the self-fulfilling prophecy type movements if it does get a bounce off this level and then cups up through there. But yeah, right now, big pullback here. But again, it's going sideways. So is this, is the pullback over? Is this thing going to try to turn itself back around? We'll see what happens. Next one here, GCL, and very, very nice clean pattern here, especially from the bottom part of the pattern. Check out, and I'm not even, I probably will count just because I'm curious, but look at all the times that price has gotten right down here around $6.80. Has it been exact? No. Has it been within a few pennies? Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 times price has been down right around $6.80, and every single time it's held. Once again, does that mean that it's for sure guaranteed going to continue to hold moving forward? No, there are no guarantees. That is why risk management matters. But is it plausible for you to think, I think it could hold? Yeah, I can totally see what you're seeing, but that does mean that does not mean that it's for sure going to hold. In the event 680 does not hold, next key area of support to watch very closely would be not that far away, right there, purple line there, 50-period moving average right now valued at 615. In terms of areas of resistance, again, I would say a pretty well-defined dynamic right there, that trend line. And then just from a pattern standpoint, let's keep it one color to make it easier to see. So we have resistance, we have support, we have the big explosive move right there. For you golfers trying to make it more visual, put the golf hole down here, have ourselves a nice bull pennant pattern. So we'll see if the price can indeed get any sort of breakout back to the upside. Next one here, TSLA Tesla, and pretty much from an overarching standpoint, everything is still totally in play from the levels that I've talked about previously. If you have watched past top 10 videos, hopefully you remember me talking about that overarching trend line right there, which you can see right here, opening 30 minutes, didn't hit it exactly, but got within the general vicinity before rolling back over. So point being, that level still is fully intact as that key overarching level of resistance. And then on the flip side of things, yes, the price did pull back here, but was it anything drastic? Not from the 30-minute standpoint, because again, the price not only has it continued to hold above that purple line, it didn't even test it. I mean, I guess it got kind of close right there, but not really. So the 50-period moving average still holding strong. But even if the price were to fall down below the purple line, you still have that 335.60 area down here as a key overarching area of support. But like I said, as of right now, that's not even close to being tested, given the price is still above that purple line there. So overall, kind of just a consolidation day for Tesla. Some choppiness here. But looking at things from the bigger picture, the main key technical levels are still fully intact. Next one, SRM, another good solid pattern here. I'm going to get rid of these lines down here as they serve their purpose. So let's just get into play here. And again, would definitely call this one of these self-fulfilling prophecy type areas, because I think a lot of people have drawn that trend line. So if the price can come up there and push through it, no guarantees, but more than plausible to think that that break right there could generate some additional buying pressure. So keep an eye on that from the top part of the pattern. And then just from a lower trend line standpoint, whoops, just because I want to try to keep it somewhat symmetrical, let's get that green for support. And then just to make it easier to see, keep it one color. So we have our area of resistance. We have our area of support. We have the big upwards move right there. So bull pennant, bull flag, whatever you want to call it. I would agree with both of those. So all in all, though, great looking day. Volume is remaining strong. It's nearing the upper part of the pattern. So can it get the breakup through there? We'll see what happens with it on Wednesday. Next one, ALLO. Very interesting scenario here. Mainly based on the fact of this one was going wild. Huge move up, then a pretty nasty pullback, and then look at things. Look how tight this range has gotten. So that brings about a more than valid question. Is this some sort of leading indicator that this pullback here is over and that this thing is getting ready to go back up? Now, let me be very clear, and I wish I could say trading was this easy. Just because the price has tightened up in range and just started to go sideways does not mean for sure guaranteed the pullback is over and that for sure guaranteed this thing is going to head back up. My point is, it's at least plausible. Case in point, let's say the price was doing something like this, and then I'm sitting here saying, hey, it's looking like this could be some sort of bottom. You'd be totally justified to say, wait a second, based on what? The price is literally just going straight down. But that's not the case here. It is at least going sideways. So does that guarantee a bottom? No. Does it make it a little bit more plausible, rational? Absolutely, in my opinion, it does. So yes, definitely an interesting scenario here. Tight range, sideways movement. Is this a little bit of a breath before another crazy move back to the upside? If you like these sorts of scenarios, then definitely keep an eye on it. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. Like I said, it'll be later this week, Thursday, February 20th at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these and you want to show your support to the channel in a super free and easy way, please hit that subscribe button. It really does help out. So thanks for watching. Again, go get signed up for that free class and make sure you hit that subscribe button.